about this love. About this. About this love. About this love. Love.
How you doing, About This Love listeners? This is Sherelle, and I'm sitting here with my husband, Dale.
What's up?
And you are listening to the About This Love podcast. So we're back with another episode. If you haven't heard our previous episode, it was like our anniversary special, where we basically talked about the things that we had learned with being married for 3 years, going into our 4th year of marriage. So disclaimer, we are sitting here with an additional person. We'll call her Baby Bump.
And she's snoring.
And she is snoring.
Good sleep.
Yes. For those of you who don't know us personally, we have had a new addition to our family, but but now you all know because if you heard last week's episode. But this week we wanted to just talk about, kind of continue on the conversation and talk about just what keeps us grounded in our marriage. More so of like when we have difficult times, when we have like our blow ups, what is keeping us from walking away when we don't feel the love, when we don't feel the lovey dovey, just that picture perfect marriage, when we don't feel that, when we don't see that, what gives us hope, what keeps us grounded, what keeps us together.
Sorry, guys, I got some juice and some ice. Sorry, in my cup. Sorry about that.
The juice is
Kinda
real
loud.
good, huh?
Were you asking me, or was you?
Oh yeah, you could start off like with something that keeps you here with me and all my craziness.
I mean, I think. I mean, not trying to sound cliches, but God.
Yeah.
And I say that because I feel like. Well, let me give a background. Like one of the things, and I tell my wife this pretty every now and then. I would like, when I was young, and when we signed up for a sport or activity, my mother wouldn't let us quit. She would say, you could quit after you finish up the season, and that became like a theme of hers. And I mean, we were growing up, we actually used to hate it because, we would basically have it be basically at that point you're doing something, but your heart really ain't in it. You're just trying to get through the season. But my mom, I'm glad that she did that, because one of the things that it taught me and my sister was endurance. Like when you get into the midst of something, get into it with the mindset that I'm going to finish it, by any means possible. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was very, very strategic of God. I think that was God in her that did that, because even now in life, I have that same mentality. Like, I don't want to quit something until it's finished or it's completed. Now, it's been times where I've had to put things down for whatever reasons, but I feel like in marriage, I just had that same mentality. And not only that, but I made a commitment to God. Not saying that I haven't had thoughts to to like walk away, because if I did, if I said I didn't, that would be a lie. But I think there's not a married man or a woman who hasn't had those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just natural. It's a natural thought. When you get angry or upset with your spouse or feel betrayed, you just want to, I'm out. I'm gone. F you in this whole situation. I mean, I think that's natural. No, all just aside, like, that's natural. People,
Yeah.
like, sometimes it kind of irks my nerve when I meet people who like to put on the front as if they're perfect. Like, no, you're not perfect. Like, what you are is full of crap. If you're telling me you ain't never been through nothing, then I kind of question the just the
Validity.
the validity of your situation. So I think for me, the Lord and just my mother kind of putting in us the mindset of endurance and making a commitment to God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think thank you for sharing that, because I know you've said that to me before. And when we were having this conversation, like, for our anniversary, I was just like, wow, so much has changed from this year to last year. I mean, last year, we had it was different because it was just the three of us. This is before we had an
Well,
addition.
the four if you count the dog.
Oh Lord, no, we didn't have the dog around our anniversary last year.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you just wanted to bring up your dog.
Our dog.
Okay, fine, our dog. But yeah, so I mean, things were just different, and I was just thinking, like, wow, just for whatever reason, had I walked away from my marriage, not to say that I was thinking about that around that time or what have you, not to say that I wasn't. I mean, I honestly don't remember. Probably mom brain. I don't remember like how I was feeling back then, a year ago, but just you just stop and think, wow, even a couple years ago before we had even gotten together, gotten married, it's like, wow, looking back on all of that, we're doing life together now. And it's like, now that we have an addition to our family, um it's like, the more things that we go through and the more things that gets added on to our life that we have to push through together, it's just a reminder of how good God is. And like, like you were saying, not to sound cliche, but I know there was a time where I had thought about just throwing the towel in and walking away, from this marriage. And you know that because you were there, right? You were there. we
Yeah.
were we were in the midst of it together. But going to a third party, going to another couple.
Because I went to like a lawyer or counselor. Dr. Phil, we went to Dr. Phil. Dr.
I
Phil
mean, look,
gave us counsel. No, I'm
if
joking.
Dr. Phil's the one who keeps y'all married and keep y'all together and help you sort it out, then by all means go to Dr. Phil,
Nah, when you said a third party,
Dr. Phil,
when you said a third party, kind
read his
of threw
books.
you off. Threw me off. We went to a third party.
But no, but we got counsel from older, more mature couples.
Yeah.
And not like our friends, not our peers who hadn't been married at all. But, and not to say that they were the ones specifically, but they were the ones who redirected our feelings. Because remember, it's just like in that time, like feelings are fleeting. And so at that time, I'm so high up off my like anger and off of my hurt and off of my disappointment and my letdown, because it's like oftentimes, when I do have like my letdowns from marriage, and it's not that it's something you specifically done. It could have been my expectations that I put on you that, you didn't know I put those expectations on you, or that wasn't realistic, or, that was just kind of unfair to kind of have those expectations of you. But, my letdowns, and sometimes I think, wow, Lord, you put on my heart to encourage people to want to be married, to encourage people to want to, seek your love,
And
your
in the midst
love.
of that, you
And
take me through hell.
well, not hell, but like, yeah.
It's not hell, but I feel like it's a growing pain, if
Yeah.
you will.
I mean, but in the midst of that, it's like, man, I'm still going through it. How can I encourage other people when I'm still going through it? Like, does that make me, fake, or am I, putting on a mask? Am I, what is the word, Dale? It just came into my mind.
Facade?
Sure. Is this all a facade? Am I putting on a facade? But it's like, well, no. Like, you still have to grow through, and everyone has to go through. And even when you get more mature, you still go through. But you hit those bumps and you recover a lot faster, is what I've heard from older couples and what I'm learning in our marriage. But God, God has helped us through this. And those couples that I've gone to, for counsel of like, hey, I'm about to walk away. I can't do this no more. This is just ridiculous. Like, I'm fed up. I'm to my limit. I'm to my max. They have come back to me and have said, hey, you said this was God. Now, are you calling God a liar? You said that this union was brought together by God. Now, if you're getting beat on, which is not and was not the case, but for those who maybe are
Inquiring minds.
yeah, if you are experiencing domestic violence, yes, go seek help and really, and you said and get away.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's not a laughing matter, but I yeah, it's not a laughing matter at all. Yes, definitely, find refuge, and really seek God and seek help for that. But, just on the everyday the everyday usual things that people go through. And not that, domestic violence is not an everyday thing that people go through, because it is, unfortunately. But not trying to take it there, just kind of sticking with, just the things that we've gone through in our marriage, just how we still get through, just me not wanting my toes to be stepped on.
Yeah, it's funny because the other week when you were talking, and I would say it's kind of embarrassing, but I just now realized this, my third year of marriage, and I think you said it earlier, but you just said it in a different way. But it's coming to the point where you realize that your emotions will betray you. Like you can love your spouse, them love you, but you be angry and upset, and man, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I ain't coming back. But it's like, dude, come on, man. Don't let your. I feel like we actually live in a world where people allow their emotions to betray them, or should I say, trick them. It's like, dude, how you feel is not reality. Like, even if I'm mad, like sometimes, when you driving to work or somebody cut you off and you get pissed off, like, dude, come on, man. Like, don't, and you try to follow them or chase them down. It's like, come on, man. It's not really that serious. Like, they cut you off. Yada yada yada. It is what it is. Move on. Don't let your emotions trick you and have you somewhere where you asking questions. Well, how did I get here, or why am I doing this? I just feel like for me, it took me 3 years of marriage to really understand that your emotions will betray you. Your emotions will trick you. So I think for me, that's kind of another thing that help me get through the tough times, is just realizing that, hey, don't let your emotions trick you. Don't let your emotions betray you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, don't throw your life away over a chicken sandwich kind of thing.
What?
The whole Popeyes thing a few months back where some guy got killed. Some guy got killed because, the other person cut the line for the Popeyes sandwich.
I'm not laughing at that. Just the way you said, like, don't your life away over chicken sandwich. Who says that?
Okay, no. When you are so hyped up in your emotions, it could be anything. Oh, she stepped on my shoe, so I bust her head open. It could be anything because our emotions could get that out of control. Like, I think one time,
I get it, but the whole chicken sandwich is kind of like out of place.
No. Hey, that's a prime example of someone's emotions getting out of control, and now 2 lives are lost. One person's in jail, the other person's dead. So it can be that extreme if we allow our emotions to go there. I mean, I know it was a random scenario to you, but yes, it could be that extreme. I think one time I was getting myself so worked up before the argument even happened, where I think as soon as we got there, I just kind of blew up, and I was like, see, I knew it. Like, in my mind, my bags were already packed, ready to go, and we hadn't even really had the conversation yet, but I had like dwelled in my hurt, my disappointment. And as soon as we even talked about it, and I think it was a point, you were to the point where you wanted to reconcile the situation. And I was just kind of like, nah, deuces, I'm out. And a lot of times we'll see that people do that. I mean, I've done it, you know.
And you know what? Call me, say I'm wrong, because I very well could be. But now that I've been married, I'm really under the impression that marriage actually helps form you into the nature of God. Because I said it because like when you got friends or family or girlfriend or boyfriend, like, you can kind of just go your own way, like whatever. But like when you actually live with somebody, like you got to talk to them when you mad, angry, upset, like that's very difficult to do. Like, that's very challenging to have to lay beside somebody that just pissed you off, and you be okay with that.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, look, you ain't okay with it. Just like sleep with one eye open, right?
I mean,
no, but you're absolutely right. One thing I put on my vision board for myself this year, to focus in on. That's something that I did pray about, and that I wanted to focus in on, was like communicate even when it's difficult. I found a saying that says communicate even when it's difficult. And because that's one thing that's hard for me. When it's difficult, I just want it to like mystically, magically go away and never come back, and the problem just automatically gets solved. But as we know, life don't work that way. God surely don't work that way. If it's something, it's like, okay, I see, the issue here. I want to just kind of take this detour because I see a way out. It does not work that way. And I think I'm reminded like what comes to mind when I think of trying to avoid, the difficult tasks that you have to endure to get to the other side, because you'll get to the other side, but it's still difficult. Um, I think of Jesus on the cross and how, he's seen a way out, and it was like, yeah, but I know,
The way out is through.
the way out, exactly, the way out is through, and this is going to hurt. This is going to, kill me, essentially, like kill, like for Jesus it's going to kill me literally, but for me it's going to kill me figuratively. It's like, this is really going to kill me to have to put my pride aside and sit here and talk to my spouse, or fight through this difficult conversation with my spouse. But I know that if I fight through it, we're going to get to the other side in a totally different place, and I'm praying that it's in a better place and not us, separately. But if we don't talk about it, it will be separately, know.
Yeah. I mean, just I feel like oftentimes like we don't really think about the difficult things that we go through, in the sense that we don't use them and reflect on them and let them be like kind of like building blocks. Because I feel like difficult times, they're actually not bad. They're actually just a reflection of how you handle situations. Like, like if like, again, going back to my job, it's interesting, to be a 30-year-old man and work with people who are 40, 50, 60 years old, but who can't articulate their emotions too well without yelling and screaming. And you got to think about it. These cats is 40, 50, 60 years old. It's like, that's actually pretty sad. I mean, and again, I understand, because I feel like some people may have never had the opportunity to be in an environment where they could display their anger or frustrations positively, or let's say healthy. So now what you got are older people who just who's screaming and shouting and can't really talk to you unless they're screaming and shouting. It's kind of like, it's sad, so I feel like oftentimes, when in marriage, when you do mess up, or your spouse does point out imperfection, in your character, it's just an opportunity for you to learn and take that criticism and just grow from it.
Absolutely. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation with you.
Me too.
On this podcast, and I hope those of you who are listening have also enjoyed the conversation. You can check it out or catch this episode and all of our previous episodes on YouTube, Audio Mac, Facebook, and also we post snippets on our About This Love Instagram.
The description to all those will be in the post as well, so you can definitely just click on the links to go to all of those that she just named. You don't have to look for them, but if you want to look for them, of course, look for them.
Yeah, go ahead, do the work and look for them.
All right, until next time, peace.